Did you know that every month tens of thousands of Americans suffer strokes, many of whom were fine just days before, walking, talking, and laughing normally? What's more shocking is, in many cases, the brain has been sending out warning signals for weeks, but most of us ignore them, dismissing them as old fatigue or work stress. The truth is that nearly half of stroke patients experience clear signs before a stroke strikes, and just one delay can result in lifelong disability or even death. Imagine, you wake up one morning with a strange headache or a few minutes of numbness in one arm, slurred speech, and then it goes away. You ignore it because it's okay, but that very moment could be your brain's last warning. I'll end this video. We'll explore the 9 earliest signs of a stroke, seemingly small signals that are actually golden opportunities to prevent disaster. And now let's start with the first sign, a headache that's different from usual. Sign 1, a headache that's different from usual. If you wake up one morning with a headache that's unlike any other, deep, severe, persistent, and doesn't respond to your usual medication, take it as a sign of something unusual. Many people blame stress, lack of sleep, or strong coffee and let it be for a few days. But when the blood vessels that feed the brain malfunction, the brain cries for help in a very unique way. The pain comes on suddenly, is different from usual, and sometimes increases over the hours. You may find bright lights annoying, loud noises painful, or just want to lie still in the dark. The important thing is the unusualness, different location, different intensity, different response to medication. If you're over 60 and the pain lasts longer than 24 to 48 hours, or is accompanied by other symptoms like blurred vision, slurred speech, or weakness in an arm or leg, don't wait for it to go away. Call your doctor. Write down the time of onset, the severity of the pain on a scale of 1 to 10, and what makes it worse/lesser. The more specific you are, the easier it will be for your doctor to rule out a stroke. Sign 2. TA, a rehearsal for a stroke. One side of your face suddenly droops for a few minutes, your arm goes weak and then comes back. Your speech is slurred, but passes quickly. That could very well be a TA, transient ischemic attack, a brief ischemic attack. Because it's transient, it's easy to dismiss. I'm fine, I must be tired. In reality, a TA is like a fire alarm. The fire hasn't broken out yet, but smoke is filling the room. When a blood clot temporarily blocks blood flow to the brain, you have the same symptoms as a real stroke, only they go away soon after the flow is restored. Don't be fooled by the self-healing effect. After a TIA, your risk of a real stroke increases dramatically in the hours and days that follow. If you ever have a few minutes of numbness, slurred speech, or blurred vision, and then it returns, see your doctor immediately. Remember the time, the symptoms, and the duration. If you have a blood pressure monitor, write down the reading. With TIAs, time is brain. The sooner you act, the more likely you are to prevent the main event. Sign 3. Persistent dizziness and loss of balance, occasional dizziness, when standing up too quickly is normal. But recurring dizziness, a feeling of floating like the floor is floating, having to hold onto a wall to walk, that's another story. The area of the brain that maintains balance is very sensitive to blood flow. When the flow decreases, you will feel unsteady, spinning, and unsteady on your feet. Some people describe it as sailing on a boat, others say lightheaded. If this condition lasts for hours or recurs for days, especially if it is accompanied by a strange headache, blurred vision, or numbness on one side, consider it an alarm. Many doctors attribute it to age, new medications, or heat stroke. You can test yourself. Walk straight, change direction quickly, close your eyes, and touch your nose with your finger. If you feel dizzy a lot, don't delay. While waiting for a doctor, avoid driving, avoid climbing, stand tall, stay hydrated, take your blood pressure. Your sense of balance is not a lie. Trust your body. Sign 4. Abnormal vision changes, sudden blurred vision, double vision, or a loss of a portion of the visual field, blind spot, are signs that should not be ignored. You may notice that the text on the newspaper is slightly blurred and then gets worse, that it becomes difficult to estimate distances when parking, or that the lights are unusually bright. Don't be too quick to blame it all on eye strain or old glasses. The brain's visual processing center needs a steady supply of blood. When the flow decreases, it's understandable that images will be distorted, flickering, or flickering. Pay attention to fluctuations. Sometimes it's clear, sometimes it's blurry, some days it's normal, some days it's not. If the vision changes are accompanied by strange headaches, dizziness, difficulty speaking, numbness, double your vigilance. What you need to do: record which eye, when, how long it lasts, whether there are flashes of light, black spots. Go to a medical facility to measure the fundus of your eye and have your nerves evaluated. Vision is the window to your brain. When the window is blurred, check the house inside. Sign 5. Difficulty speaking, slurred speech, struggling to find words. You intend to say, "Get me a spoon," but it comes out as, "What? What?" Or your children tease you, "Why are you slurring your speech today?" That's strange. Language is a symphony of many brain regions, choosing words, forming sentences, controlling the lips and tongue. If the blood supply slows down, the music will be out of tune, speaking slowly, slurring, forgetting simple words, or having difficulty understanding what others say even though you can still hear clearly. Don't blame old age and slow speech. Pay attention to the timing, suddenly or gradually, which side of the face the mouth is weak, and whether the lips droop. A little tip: try reading aloud a short passage you're familiar with, for example, your home address, recorded on the phone. If the recording shows reduced clarity and broken rhythm, don't hesitate. When language goes wrong, there's usually a nerve involved. Seek medical help, especially if it's accompanied by a drooping face, weak arms, or blurred vision. With speech, a few minutes of offbeat can be a golden window for intervention. Sign 6. Weakness or numbness on one side of the body. You lift a cup of coffee. Suddenly your right hand feels weak. The lid is hard to turn. Or half your face feels numb like you just had a toothache, and it's hard to smile. These feelings can come and go, making you think you're sleeping in the wrong position. The worrying thing is the lateralization. Only one side repeats many times. The brain's motor sensory cortex controls crosswise, left brain right side, and vice versa. When blood supply is lacking, the corresponding half of the body will signal. Check. Grasp and release both hands at the same time. Compare the force. Close your eyes and touch your index finger to your nose. Smile. See if your lips are sagging. If so, write down the time. Don't drive yourself. Call a relative to help you get to a medical facility. Don't let "I'm better" fool you. With unilateral signs, each repetition is a brick piled on the risk. Early treatment can prevent a stroke completely. Sign 7. Not like normal fatigue. Everyone has a day when they're tired. But the type of fatigue here is unusual. The whole body feels heavy, tired even after enough sleep. Small things like putting on a shirt, walking to the mailbox also take a different amount of effort. Many people attribute it to age, the weather, or a sleepless night. However, the brain consumes a lot of energy. When blood flow and oxygen decrease in the background, the body enters a saving mode, leaving a feeling of exhaustion for no reason. Ask yourself, how many days does this fatigue last? Does it recover after rest? Is it accompanied by a heavy head, blurred vision, slurred speech, numbness? If the answer is yes, don't ignore it. Monitor your sleep, blood sugar. If you have a monitor, blood pressure, drink enough water, and see a doctor early. Unexplained drops in energy, especially in people with high blood pressure, diabetes, or dyslipidemia, deserve careful examination because sometimes it is the prelude to cerebrovascular accidents. Sign 8. Sudden hearing loss, especially unilateral. Gradually losing hearing with age is common. But rapid hearing loss, especially in one ear, within hours or days, accompanied by dizziness/dizziness, is a different story. The inner ear and the brain region that processes hearing and balance share common blood vessels. When the flow is disrupted, the ears sometimes sound the alarm first. Signs to look for: sudden, sharp tinnitus, hearing loss on both sides, difficulty distinguishing voices in a noisy room as before. If accompanied by unsteadiness, vision problems when turning the head, or if you are at risk for heart disease, see your doctor immediately, ENT and neurology. Record which ear, when it started, the situation, just waking up? After bending over, whether there is ear pain or a cold. Don't wait a few days and see. With hearing, the treatment window is often short. The sooner, the better the chance of recovery and preventing brain damage. Sign 9. Strange, minor neurological signs. Sometimes the brain doesn't send one big sign, but several small ones. Transient confusion, difficulty understanding what others say even though you hear clearly, nausea and vomiting for no reason. Dizziness, as if you're about to faint in a flash, less often mild seizures. Separately, each can have many causes. But if it occurs in clusters, repeated over several days, weeks, especially in people with high blood pressure, diabetes, smoking, dyslipidemia, atrial fibrillation, raise your guard. Pay attention to the time early morning.
When standing up after a salty meal. Duration, a few minutes or hours. Accompanying factors, strange headache, blurred vision, numbness, difficulty speaking. Keeping a short diary on your phone helps your doctor see the pattern. The golden rule: when your body shows a strange pattern that has never been seen before, especially in the head, face, limbs on one side, consider it a real signal, not a trivial matter. Proactively going to the doctor is a way to buy more time for the brain. Finally, we have just gone through 9 early warning signs of a stroke together. It could be just a strange headache, persistent fatigue of unknown cause, or a few minutes of slurred speech, numbness on one side of the face. All are signals sent by the brain before it is too late.
The most important thing to remember: strokes do not always come suddenly. The body always has a way of warning. The problem is whether you pay attention or not. Just recognize it early and seek medical attention in time. You can save yourself or a loved one. Consider this a gift of vigilance. A small sign today can be the difference between recovery and permanent disability. Don't let yourself or your loved ones become a cold statistic. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on other important health information. Leave a comment sharing your experience or simply letting us know where you're watching from. We'd love to hear from the global community. And don't forget to share this video with at least one person over 55, because a small share today can save a life tomorrow. Thank you for joining us. See you in the next video. Stay healthy and stay alert, because with stroke, every moment counts.